Today, we're diving into why the Naruto anime got away with lower production quality for so long, how Studio Pierrot managed to pull it off, and why the same approach fell apart when they moved on to Boruto. We'll also touch on how other studios, like Ufotable with Demon Slayer, took a different path and saw massive success as a result. As a preface, let me just say that I don't know all the specific, nor do I care enough to look them up. But what I do have is some economics and business knowledge and a burning passion for hating on Studio Pierrot. So take this video as a brief explanation why some studios can get away with producing very low-quality content and why others go above and beyond.
Go beyond! Plus!
We'll present a simplified version on how business relationships revolve around an anime studio work, so you will hopefully understand their motives and incentives better and be able to apply them to other situations. With that, let's begin. Everything in business boils down to profit.
Aww.
Companies, studios, networks, none of them are in this game just for the love of the craft. They're here to make money, and if they're not making money, they're not sticking around. That's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just how the world works. But when profit becomes the only focus, something's gotta give. And often, that something is quality.
Oh my God. Well,
let's kick off with the intellectual property holders, the ones who own the golden goose. Masashi Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, is the one who laid the foundation for everything that came after. His manga wasn't just popular, it was a cultural phenomenon. The story, the characters, the world he built, this is what drew fans in by the millions. Kishimoto's work is what made the franchise a success from the start. But it's Shueisha, the big-shot publisher, that holds the real power. They own the rights, they control the purse strings, and they're the ones who decide who gets to play in their sandbox. Shueisha makes bank by licensing out these rights to anyone who wants a piece of the action. You want to air Naruto on TV? Pay up. You want to make a Naruto video game? Open your wallet. They've got their hands in every pie. Merchandising, broadcasting, streaming, you name it. And because Naruto is a cash cow, they can charge top dollar for these licenses. They licensed the broadcasting rights to TV Tokyo.
aww.
When the decision was made to adapt Naruto into an anime, that fan base was already in place, practically guaranteeing a huge viewership. TV Tokyo snapped up the broadcasting rights, paid Shueisha for the right to air Naruto, then they sold ad slots around the show. They knew they had a guaranteed audience, thanks to Kishimoto's success with the manga, so they were more than willing to pay for those rights. The primary income for TV Tokyo comes from advertisers who pay for commercials aired during the anime. More viewers, more eyeballs on the screen, the higher the ad rates and higher the ad revenue. It's a straightforward business model, and when you're airing a show as popular as Naruto, it's almost like printing money. But, and this is a big but, the quality of what they air can make or break those profits. And here's where Studio Pierrot slinks into the picture. Animation studio hired by TV Tokyo, tasked with bringing Naruto to life on screen. TV Tokyo pays them to animate the show, and Pierrot's job is to turn a profit by making sure their costs don't eat up that revenue. Pierrot was given a contract to produce enough episodes to fill in TV Tokyo's weekly schedule. To keep their contract up, their job was to sustain the number of viewers their anime brought to TV Tokyo, with ratings and number of viewers being the key metric for TV Tokyo in evaluating their business relationship with Studio Pierrot. Now, you'd think this would mean they'd want to produce something stellar, right? Wrong. Here's where the profit motive comes into play. Profit for Studio Pierrot represents monies they were paid by TV Tokyo, deducted by their production costs. Studio Pierrot figured out that if they're animating a hit like Naruto, they could cut corners, slash budgets, and still keep that sweet TV Tokyo money rolling in. They knew fans would watch, no matter what. Fillers, cutting out canon content, butchered light novels adaptation, recycled animation, flashbacks that would make you groan. It was all there. But guess what? It didn't matter. Naruto was so popular that viewers kept tuning in despite the poor production quality. Studio Pierrot was laughing all the way to the bank. Pierrot and TV Tokyo were both able to profit as long as the show kept running, so they stretched it out with fillers. This kept the series on air and ensured a steady stream of revenue from advertising for TV Tokyo, while Pierrot kept costs down and maximized their profits. The result? A show that, while still incredibly popular, didn't always live up to its potential in terms of production quality. But then came Boruto, the sequel. And here's where Studio Pierrot's luck ran out. They tried the same cheap tricks with Boruto, thinking they could ride on Naruto's coattails. But Boruto didn't have the same magic. It had to prove itself in a way that Naruto didn't. It had a built-in viewership, but it wasn't guaranteed. The world had changed, and so had the expectations of anime fans. Fans weren't as forgiving of the low-budget animation, competition was tougher, nor did Boruto have years of successful manga backing it up. Viewership dropped, and with it, TV Tokyo's ad revenue. Suddenly, Pierrot found themselves in hot water, at risk of losing their cushy contract. This meant that Pierrot couldn't rely on the same cost-cutting measures without consequences. They vowed to improve.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
And to their credit, they did, at least with Bleach. But it was too little, too late for Boruto. The damage was done. Now let's contrast this with a studio that gives a damn about what they're putting out. Ufotable with Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer franchise had nowhere near the guaranteed success of Naruto, so Ufotable didn't hold back. They invested heavily in high-quality animation, making sure every episode was a visual spectacle. They had to make sure their animation brought in the audience, which would secure their business. The result? Demon Slayer didn't just capture an audience, it created a global phenomenon. People tuned in because the show was stunning, and that success flowed back to everyone involved, the IP holders, network, and the studio. So what's the takeaway here? It's all about understanding the economics behind anime production. Profit drives decisions, and while that can sometimes lead to lower quality, it doesn't have to. Studio Pierrot got away with low-quality production because they were lucky enough to land a blockbuster franchise like Naruto. But when studios rely too heavily on a franchise's existing popularity, they risk alienating fans, like happened with Boruto, and miss out on the potential to create something truly great. They made millions while putting in the bare minimum, and it worked. Until it didn't. Their complacency didn't just hurt their reputation, it nearly tanked an entire franchise. Where studios that are willing to invest in their product, like Ufotable did with Demon Slayer, can see massive rewards. As fans, understanding these dynamics helps us appreciate the shows that push boundaries and demand better from the ones that don't. Kishimoto's Naruto gave Pierrot the chance to coast for a while, but Boruto showed that times have changed. Quality matters more than ever, fans are more discerning, and studios that don't step up their game will find themselves left behind. So, The next time you watch an anime, think about what went into making it. Was it crafted with care, or was it slapped together because someone thought the name alone would carry it? And remember, just because a studio got lucky once doesn't mean they deserve your loyalty. Thanks for listening, and if you learned something new, give me a follow so we can hate on studio brain rot together.